All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm at the Hyundai. You know why I'm at the Hyundai dealership? OEM parts. You know what OEM parts I'm picking up? OEM evap stuff, baby. 140,000 mile purge valve, vent valve, and gas cap. So, this place was fairly remodeled, and it had some state-of-the-art Hunter equipment before the vehicle actually enters the facility, which is fantastic. Burlington Kia has a similar system. It is a wheel and tire, body, camera, exterior inspection, which is a fantastic thing. It also does tire tread and wheel alignment conditions as well. I wonder how much they actually sell from that, or they actually are protected. I think it's pretty fantastic. Secondly, I'm always listening to what's going on, right? With the behaviors of the customers and the employees. So all the employees all seem to know their stuff, although my wait time for parts was ridiculous. And I don't know why that dealerships have their service writers and service intake counter people dealing with parts. Doesn't seem productive to me, but that's the way that it is at this Hyundai dealership, and also at the Cherry Hill Hyundai or Kia. Burlington Dodge isn't like that. But there was a customer said, I was at Midas and this is what they told me to do. So he had a piece of paper and the guy was like, so you just want me to do what Midas told you to do on this piece of paper? And he said, yeah. He said, well, you know, I don't know if that's going to fix your car. And it's a very, very similar situation that I see at my counter all the time. Is that AutoZone or Advanced or whoever my mechanic said. And he was just like, well, okay, we could do that. You know, their labor rate there was $195 an hour, I did ask, which is a little lower compared to the next level up dealerships. So although I consider Kia and Hyundai a leveled up manufacturer, to be honest with you. And the place is casino look, like casino environment, clean, and the wow effect. And they also had free coffee. How about that? And customers could actually stare like flies on the window in the service bays as their technicians are working on cars. It didn't seem like they were really doing anything heavy. Maybe probably a lot of maintenance work. So this older gentleman, he's not really old. I got another story about an older gentleman. He's saying, yeah, that's what Midas kind of said to me. And then the guy's like, all right, well, can you tell me a little bit more on what's going on? Like, you know, I got to charge you to do what you're asking me to do, right? The customer's request is do this because this is what Midas told me. And rightfully so, if the customer says, hey, do this, you know, he has that choice to say, hey, yeah, let's do this. Pep Boys lots jamming. So I'm standing there and I'm listening, right? And the guy's saying, he's like, hey, listen, dude, I really don't want to just do what Midas said. You know why he's saying that, right? And he said, you know, did they diagnose the car? Like, he's really scratching this guy and trying to open him up to get all the information out of him. And the guy finally starts saying, well, I've been back 5 or 6 times and they've done some diag work and the engine light always comes back on. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, this most check engine lights are not that complex. The common check engine lights that we see all the time is evap codes and cat efficiency codes. Very rarely do we see anything else that's really that crazy. And sometimes there is, and I have a few. And I had a few that I've chased down, and I've had a few that I have to send out because I don't have the equipment or I don't have the knowledge and experience to fix it. That's very, very often that happens. So the guy's like, well, do you have any paperwork or what you're saying? He's like, I don't know. I just keep going back and the engine light stays off for a month. So that tells me it's not a problem that is an open circuit. It tells me that it is not too much of a ghost or an intermittent, right? And there isn't really too many intermittents. Cat efficiency and evap codes are typically one of the most possible or short-term, long-term fuel trims, things like that. Typically, everything else, it's usually like it's a major failure, and your engine light will be on instantly, or it takes a while to come back. So I don't know. I just keep going back. In my head, I said to myself, "Why do you keep going back?" I get once or twice, right, and sometimes a third time because something else in another system has happened on an older car, and that does happen. Trust me. I'll fix one system, and then I'll see the customer back a week later, and I'll say I did change an oxygen sensor, and then I'll see the customer back later for a cat efficiency code, or I'll fix the evap system, and the customer will come back for a misfire or a check engine light. That stuff does happen, or vice versa. This is just the world we are in with today's technologies and so many systems on the vehicle. And I've seen the same behavior constantly. Why did you keep going back? Why? Was it for convenience? Was it for trust? So then the guy, and this is me talking, not the service writer. So the service writer says, "Hey man, you better just have us diagnose it and see what's going on." And he goes, "Do you want us to do that?" And he goes, "Well, they already diagnosed it." He goes, "Obviously not. They can't figure it out." So the guy was like, "All right." He's like, "Do you have any receipts for what they've done?" And he says, "No." So if they were putting aftermarket parts on for evap, you're definitely just chasing your tail. And if you don't know how to really check an evap system, you're in over your head. And hence, I'm picking up all evap parts from the dealer because that is 100% the way to do this. And I've had one purge valve fail within a week's time of installation, but I do believe that the charcoal canister was starting to come apart. I have not heard from that customer in over a year for this specific car, because when I went to I do like a little test in my mouth with it, and I had carbon come out. So I said, "Hey, charcoal canister starting to come apart. Maybe some of it was just got sucked up into the new valve, and that's the most of it for now. But over a period of time, it's going to do the same thing." They declined the charcoal canister, but stuff like that. And I just said, well, I see the same thing. Why? Sometimes aftermarket parts just don't work. After one try with an aftermarket part and it doesn't work for me, I'm done. I'm going right to OEM. Aftermarket gets one chance for me, and I'm done. And you see a lot of aftermarket parts just are not compatible or do not function properly. And I just wonder if it's just out of sheer convenience that he could just drive up to Midas or Mavis or Firestone or Pep Boys or the other M or whoever. It's sheerly that convenient. Where a dealership is, you kind of like got to call ahead, you got to schedule an appointment. It could be a long wait time. I don't know. I see it a lot. It's the behavior, and then in the end conversation, the customer himself, he's like, "Well, I don't trust anybody." Well, you obviously had some type of trust for the location because you went back 6 times. His words, not mine. So then the customer went and sat down. I walk over to the service writer, and I'm like, "Now you see why I'm here buying OEM evap parts?" And he just laughed. I said, "Yeah, I'll see you later. Have a nice day." All right, thanks for watching.